Okay, so my opponents claim that it is a vast overstatement to say that animals are burned and tortured, and it's based on the definition of animals based on as defined by the AWA. The AWA does not protect such things as birds, reptiles, and rodents. It says estimates say, or professionals estimate between 14 and 70 million animals are used in experiments every year. And it's impossible to know exactly how many animals are tested because the U.S. law does not require scientists to report how many birds, reptiles, rodents, or fish that they use. So they don't have to report the number nor the abuse level. They don't even have to provide them pain medication. Rodents, birds, and reptiles are not protected by the USDA's Animal Welfare Act, and therefore labs that only test on these animals are not required to provide pain relief. And many of these labs do burn, shock, and torture and starve animals, specifically the ones not protected by your Animal Act, which again make up 90% of the animals that are being used in testing are burned, shocked, tortured, and starved without pain relief. For example, baby mice endured severed ligaments for 16 weeks without pain relief before they were put down. And over 97,000 animals, these are including the ones that are protected within your Welfare Act, which is 8.5% of the total, experienced unalleviated pain relief and distress in just 2010 alone. So my opponent also claims that the last century thanks to the last century of animal research, but that's the last century. It is not last century. Where technology is moving forward, and therefore so should we. And then my opponent also claims that technology is not good enough yet. And but I don't understand what you're saying. I mean, they already made a simulator that has been tested and made efficiently and proved that it is a good alternative to live animals. The chip is the chip that is being developed is almost finished, and is just going through the final testing. That L'Oreal has already been putting it into testing and found it exceedingly efficient. And to say that it's expensive is incorrect. The makers claim that it is as simple as a big pen. It's not like comparing to the Hubble Space Telescope. They compare it to a big pen. And they say it's so simple. So also they say animal testing is more inaccurate than any computer testing that can be done. Animal testing has never really worked in the first place. Animals tests proved penicillin deadly, Sinterstein safe, and aspirin dangerous, which is the exact opposite of what we've found out. In fact, 90% of medications approved for human use after animal testing later proved ineffective or harmful to humans in clinical trials. And 50% of the animals used in cosmetic testing die within 3 weeks of the experiment. That's not humane at all. As well as Botox is deemed safe for humans once it's already killed half the mice that it's been tested against. Also, the stem cell collecting doesn't, when you collect stem cells, it does not harm anything on the body. You can collect stem cells from humans, and they do. As well as saying that it's immoral for humans to use humans based off of the use of prisoners. It will be a complete choice for them, and it will be through their own rights, which will not defy any laws.